in this pack here. Hopefully nobody died. Good news is now I can drink my potion. Bad news is now I cannot monitor my shield. You want to face the propelling charge away from the party. So you're getting the despair interrupt. Despair interrupt is going to reduce your healing taken. Oh boy. Get these guys out of sanguine. Watch the propelling charge. Careful not to aim propelling charge at the bear and his two mobs over there. Not gonna die. We are not gonna die. Tank is going to hold aggro. Tank is going to build the ignore pain shield. Use the shield wall to avoid all damage. Helps you see the ghosts. Pull everybody out of sanguine. Everybody out of sanguine. Everybody keeps moving. Okay. I forgot to ask everybody if they had invis pots. We are going to prepare for the worst and hope for the best and assume they have invis pots. If not, hopefully they can invis. Okay, good. Okay. Face the boss away from your party. Demoralizing shout. Don't forget to CC the mobs. Get out of the way. Just a tiny tank. You can get clipped by that and you're dead. Pull the boss back to the puddle in the middle. Turn the boss away from the party. Use another shield because you're taking damage. CC the little mobs so they can die. Keep the boss facing away from your party. Step out of the way of Primal Rampage. Hello, the Black Master. How have you been? We are currently working on Break the Meta keys. My Blood Death Knight did not make the Break the Meta, so I am playing a Warrior. the warrior, the tiny tank did break the meta. Oh, dang, damn it. Face the boss away from the party. Good, just got 2 new display pictures. So I'm trying to measure and put them up on the wall. How are you? I am doing well. I would like it if my Death Knight had made break the meta. And 2 new display pictures. That's cool. Of like esport members. Step out of the mushrooms. Well, of course. Pretty sure Frost and Fire Mage probably isn't the meta either. Actually, the only mage that made break the meta is Arcane Mage. Oh yeah, probably isn't in that. Yes, that's kind of weird though, because I have not played with a lot of mages this season. But I guess maybe I've played with more than I thought. Okay, we're just gonna pull all of this. Careful with the mushroom. The mushrooms will burst and deal damage to you. Focus down the big guys first, then the flowers. Watch the brown circles on the floor. No, the pictures are of mythical creatures. One is a kitsune and the other is a... I'm not entirely sure how to say that word. Kitsune is cool though. Jorm is a giant serpent that wraps around the world in Norse mythology. Gotcha. Interrupt. Tormenting Eye. Pull the boss. Remember to face Okar away from the party. Step out of the strangling roots. If you are a druid, you can step in the roots and shapeshift to clear the roots. If you're a hunter, you can use turtle to help clear the roots. If you're a paladin, you can freedom yourself and then run through the roots. Freedom or bop. I think it's bop yourself, actually. Nightmare Breath. You want to use defensive. Nightmare Breath is a frontal on the tank. It does do damage to other players who are standing around the tank. Face the Blood-Tainted Fury away from your party. The Blood-Tainted Fury does charge in the direction of the tank. You want to make sure he is facing away from the party and not down the hallway. If he does charge down the hallway, the Blood-Tainted Fury will not pull the other adds, but pets that are attached to the Blood-Tainted Fury will pull the other adds. Pull everybody out of Sanguine. Okay, push everybody out of Sanguine that way, that works. Oh, come on. You do want to be careful. After the Blood-Tainted Fury dies, he does turn into smaller adds. The smaller adds can cast... Well, this just turned into a mess. The tiny adds can cast Blood Metamorphosis and turn back into a new Blood-Tainted Fury. Their health does go from 4 million to 9 million when they turn into a giant add, so you want to be careful with that. Okay. I did not know shamans could pull like that. That's cool. Does the healer need mana? %, pulling the boss. I tank the boss towards the center of the room. You want to tank the boss away from the walls. During the pushback, you will be pushed straight into a wall if you tank him near a wall. Downdraft. Try and stay underneath the boss during downdraft. If you're range and you cannot stand close to the boss, just make sure that you are not in the eggs. Breath of Corruption. Breath of Corruption is a frontal in the direction of the tank. After Breath of Corruption is cast, you can step left or right as a tank to step out of it. Breath of Corruption deals damage to you and applies a dot. And applies a dot that reduces your armor by 10%. Earth-Shaking Roar. Earth-Shaking Roar drops Earthquake from the ceiling. You want to be careful not to stand in the dirt that's falling from the ceiling because it will do a lot of damage to you. I do recommend focusing the imps first on this next pull. The imps are the same imps from Court of Stars, the ones that ran around in the big group and we had to coordinate CCs to get past. Make sure you're using your interrupts on these pulls. Dread Inferno is going to be your priority interrupt. Curse of Isolation is your next interrupt that you need to focus. Dread Inferno is going to put a big red circle around a random party member. That ticks for 3 seconds. And after the big red circle expires, it does deal a burst of damage to that party member and anybody else inside of his red circle. Bloodseekers. Careful with Sanguine on these Bloodseekers part. The Bloodseekers do not have a lot of health and die relatively quickly, but you want to be careful not to heal them with the Sanguine. Now, the decoys do not drop Sanguine, and they do not give you percent, but you will have to kill them if the guys with the horns summon them. Healer needs mana. I do recommend tanking the boss back here on the side. If you tank the boss back here during the second phase, it will be easier to avoid the fire. If the boss gets hit by fire during that second phase, his damage done to the party will increase by 5% per stack. Growing Paranoia. During Growing Paranoia, one player will get a red circle around him. That'll continue to grow. You want to be careful not to stand in that player's red circle. And not to stand on any other players if you are the one with the red circle. If you have a purple circle around you during this boss fight, you do want to stack on top of another player to avoid being silenced.